just introduce yourself to people who don't know you. Tell me about your background.
So my name is Lauren Truscott. I am a Seattle police officer. I've been with Seattle PD. I was hired in January of 2000. I left the Seattle Police Department last January for a promotional opportunity at a different agency. And then I recently returned. November 10th, I was sworn back into the Seattle Police Department. During my time on the Seattle Police Department, I served as a variety of different units, both as an officer, detective, and sergeant.
And your dad has been or was sworn with SPD for a long time, right?
He was sworn with Seattle Police. He was sworn in 1979. And prior to that, he served with another Washington state agency. So he's actually been a police officer since 1976, the year I was born. And he retired several years ago from Seattle PD, but he's been working as a civilian for the Seattle Police Department, I think for about the last 7 years. So he's still active on the department, just in a different capacity.
That's awesome. So it's in the family. Did his service have anything to do with influencing you to be a member of SPD as well?
Oh, absolutely. There has never been a time in my life that Seattle police has not been prevalent or a presence, whether it's, my dad's work friends being around, going to the station when I was a kid. He would tell me stories, share, reports with me of different things that he had done and seen. Hugely influential. Went on a couple ride-alongs when I was a teenager with different officers. So it, definitely played into my becoming a police officer in Seattle.
So take us inside just your personal decision to leave an agency that clearly meant so much to you and to your family.
It was a deeply personal decision for me, and it was not without a lot of thought and contemplation. I did not leave the department or the city because I was disgruntled or angry or unhappy. The department has afforded my family, meaning my immediate family, my children, and who I live with, and also my father and my sisters, great opportunities. And I've raised my children, with the income and stability of having been employed for the last 20 years with the Seattle Police Department. So I didn't leave disgruntled or angry. I was presented with an opportunity at a different agency that I wanted to challenge myself. And I didn't know if I would be given the same opportunity twice. And if I didn't take it, if 5 years down the road, I would say, oh, if only I had tried that out or applied. So it was a difficult decision to make, though, because I knew that I would be leaving behind longstanding relationships and maybe still even more opportunities with the Seattle Police Department.
At the same time, that you say you're not disgruntled, it was still during a period, your exit came during a period where a lot of Seattle police officers were leaving the agency. A lot of them in their exit interviews cited the political environment, the defunding debate, which is understandable. Job security, it has to be a concern for anyone, no matter profession. For you at that time, was there still concerns, even though you didn't leave disgruntled, about the political environment and what it meant for your career and maybe for your safety?
It definitely played a role into considering maybe a different city or community would be easier or less stressful to work in. But it ultimately was not the deciding factor.
But you're also coming back at what continues to be a very interesting time for police in Seattle. So first, just tell me from a professional perspective, why you would come back to an agency that you had just left.
There still continues to be amazing opportunities with the Seattle Police Department. There's still promotional opportunities. There's still opportunities to be in follow-up units. And there's still opportunities in patrol to have great experiences and continue great relationships with some of the people who I left behind. I really missed the community relationships that I had built over the course of 20 years. I believe it's a rough patch I don't know how long the rough patch will last, but I still believe that there's great opportunities for Seattle police officers to serve the community and city.
Not a lot of officers like to talk to me about politics when we discuss, when we do interviews on anything, but and I understand why. But we just had an election, and voters rejected candidates who favored defunding the police, even candidates who favored abolishing the police. From the perspective of someone who is with the Seattle Police Department again, does that give you hope that maybe we're moving out of that period of time?
I think the Seattle police officers, all officers across the country, despite what's been going on politically for the last 2 years, have just kept their nose to the grindstone and done their job day in and day out. And that's what I'll continue to do. That's what the police officers will continue to do, answering calls for service, serving the community. And so I didn't really pay too much attention to the elections and the budget and the policy. It didn't influence my decision to leave, and it wasn't really a determining factor for me coming back.
So tell people what job you'll be coming back to. What are you going to be doing?
I will be a sergeant, and I will be supervising a squad in patrol in the North Precinct.
One of the questions I had is, do you get a lateral bonus for coming back?
I don't know. That lateral bonus was not in play when I reapplied. That wasn't a determining factor for me to consider coming back. So if it was given to me, that would be icing on the cake that I was not expecting. So I don't know yet.
Just a couple more questions, I guess. What would you say to the citizens of Seattle about why you want to be here now, continuing to serve them?
I've just felt a great sense of dedication to the city and the communities that I've lived in and worked in over the years. And I'm just super excited to be back. I think a lot of the officers who are here feel the same way. We might feel a little beat up, a little bit tired, but we all still remain dedicated. But, you know, I was raised in Seattle. I went to Seattle public schools. You know, I've worked at the South Precinct, the East Precinct, West Precinct, North Precinct. So I'm just excited to be back and continue to build on those relationships. And I hope that the city of Seattle is, you know, supportive of the officers who have remained and who are returning, and of the new hires who are coming into the department.
And do you think this is going to be a trend? Are we going to see a bunch of former SPD returning, you think?
I hope so. I hope so. I think it's great because the officers who have left, who come back, they literally are, you can plug them right back in. There's not the long training investment. It's even if you have laterals who come from out of state, there's a lot of time and training that has to be caught up. But if you leave SPD and then come back, it's much quicker to get officers back into play and out serving the community where they will be doing their best work.